Right now, we are statutory citizens. That means that we received our citizenship through passage of the Organic Act. The Organic Act is United States Code 48, Section 8A. Through passage of that legislation, we received citizenship. That is a statute. Unfortunately, Article 14 of the United States Constitution has never been amended to include citizenship of unincorporated territories. Because Article 14, line 1 of the United States Constitution says there's only two ways to be a United States citizen. You're either born a citizen or you're naturalized. And you cannot be born a constitutional citizen in an unincorporated territory of the United States of America. You have to be born in an incorporated territory. And you cannot be naturalized if you are in an unincorporated territory and maintain statutory citizenship. The only true way for Guam and the Chamorro people to get United States true constitutional citizenship, which means full protection and full constitutional rights, is either Guam becomes a state, which is not going to happen because we don't have the population base and we're too far away from the continuous 50 states, and the United States cannot fully defend this island in case of another nation wanting to take over. Well, they could take it back, and then that nation could take it back again. But they wouldn't be able to fully defend this island because of our location and our size. And there is not enough people on this island to be politically significant to the United States political system. So Guam will never become a state. That is one way. And that is the only way that Guam as a whole could become an incorporated territory of the United States. You have to understand that our true political status is we are an unincorporated, organized territory of the United States of America. As an unincorporated territory, we do not have constitutional rights, and we are not considered United States citizens. As an organized territory, it means that our government is run under the Organic Act. Just like CNMI, for example, is also an unincorporated, organized territory that operates under a Commonwealth Constitution. But it also shares that unincorporated, organized territory status like Guam. The difference is Guam does not have its own constitution. It is governed solely under the Organic Act. Only certain amendments of the Constitution, and those are the amendments that the Supreme Court recognized as being basic human rights. Only those certain amendments apply to us. The only other way for us to get constitutional citizenship is to become registered as a tribe. Because if we become registered as a tribe, guess what? We as a people become incorporated to the United States. And the Indian Naturalization Act would automatically naturalize all of us, thereby making us legal constitutional citizens of the United States and affording us all of the protections and rights under the Constitution of the United States, as well as making us eligible for a whole lot of different types of benefits and giving us additional constitutional rights, because Native Americans enjoy more constitutional rights than regular Americans, such as Native Americans have the constitutional right to discriminate based on race. They have that constitutional right so that they can protect their culture, they can protect their heritage, they can protect their race. Does anybody have any questions on the history and the foundation of law that we stand on that gives us the right and makes us eligible to apply for Native American tribal registration? Everything I'm saying we have in black and white, and you're welcome to see it. As a matter of fact, I encourage everybody to see it and read it, so that you know it's true. Questions? Questions like, what kind of things will you be eligible for besides U.S. citizenship? Any questions? Okay, how about free healthcare? How about free education? How about free houses? How about the right to control the immigration onto tribal lands? How about Indian corporations, tribal corporations receiving preferential treatment on any government bids?
Can you explain that further?
Native American tribes have the right to form commercial corporations and conduct business. Any bids that the United States government opens up for any purpose, for any reason, whether it be a manpower bid for security up in Anderson, or whether it be a construction project, Native American corporations receive preferential treatment on those bids, up to a 30% price differential on their bid. In other words, they can bid even 30% higher than the closest non-Native American corporation and still receive preferential selection on the bid.
This large military buildup, a lot of these contracts are being decided back in Washington, and they're not, from what I've been reading, they're not taxable. If Native American corporations can bid and partner with local businesses, that becomes taxable under the Organic Act, doesn't it?
Prime contractors are not taxed if that contract deals solely with the United States government. Subcontractors are taxed. Okay? If the tribe were to have a corporation, it could subcontract local contractors, and then those local contractors would have to pay their GRT to the local government. But the prime contractor, whose only function is to fulfill a contract with the federal government, and that's the only business that they conduct, they're not taxed.
I see most of the contracts, the big contracts for this huge military buildup, are not going to be taxable.
No, they're not. They're not going to be receiving any. They're not going to be receiving any GRT.
Guam would lose. They would lose billions and billions of dollars in taxes.
Well, right now you're looking at $21 billion was appropriated for this military buildup. 4% of $21 billion is how much the local government will lose in tax money. What does that come out to? Like $400 million, something like that?
I think that's $400 billion. $4 million.
Yeah, so times 21.
I don't want to go there.
I don't know. There's too many numbers for my head at this point in time. Any other questions? Now,
what is the criteria to, what is the specific criteria to be a CHAMORRO or to be legalized to be CHAMORRO?
I mean, what is the legal definition of a CHAMORRO?
Yeah.
Depends on who you ask.
Okay,
Okay, but the definition we're going to go by is we're going to go by anyone who was on the island of Guam in 1899, who had Spanish citizenship in 1899, or their descendant by blood relation. Okay, that's very important, by blood relation, because you cannot determine a race by where somebody was at a specific point in time or what citizenship they garnered at a specific point in time. A race is determined by blood relation, and only by blood relation.